To step into the light, we must face the darkness. We must face our shadows. We must face the limited beliefs, everything that you've been looking for on the outside, the joy, the peace, the unconditional love. It's all there within you. We complicate things because we allow our thoughts, our intellect to run us. The world is not as dark as you think it is when you can see all the light. Focus on the light. Focus on love and who you're being.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Vibrant Soul Society. Mission here is to help you to discover that you are greater than your thought. Then beyond your thoughts is your vibrant soul. So twice a week, I bring forward various experts to provide wisdom, inspiration, and tips on how to live a better life. So today we are very blessed and privileged to have a beautiful, bright, vibrant soul here, Sonja. Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Bubba. I am honored to be here with you and to be here with your listeners.
Yes.
Definitely excited for the space that we are going to share today.
Yes, it's going to be beautiful. So people that are unfamiliar with you, who is Sonja?
Well, let's start the roles, right? So, the roles,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, I am a wife to a beautiful man. We have been married for 16 years. We have 4 beautiful children. We have 1 in heaven. We have a 14-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son, and I also have a bonus daughter with my husband. I am a coach. I am all the things, right? A nurse, a chauffeur, a friend. And above all of that is I am spirit. I am love. I am you. And we are one. And I am here to share my journey, my story, to help those that may be on a similar journey, to really help them to wake up, for them to see who God created them to be, to step into the I am. And though that journey is beautiful, it's sticky as well. There's growth, there's pain and suffering, but it's all about revealing and letting go of the conditioning, the programming, the limited beliefs that hold us back from finding our true essence, which is the joy that lives within us, the unconditional love that lives within us, the inner peace. And when we find those things, when we find what really matters, and we let go of all the things, we shed and release all the things that are not for us, then we will find our true essence, our light. That's what my journey has been.
Beautiful.
You know, I've been waiting for this day to be able to share what I'm here to do. As a coach, I do. As a mother, I do. As a wife, I do. And as a friend, I do. But to be in front of many and to share, to be of service and to share in such a vulnerable space where people can see that they are me too. And we are all here for that. Your story is remarkable, Bubba. Remarkable, and it has changed lives. When I listened to your podcast, when I listened to this podcast, I saw me and you, light workers, as we all are. But in order to step into the light, we must face the darkness. We must face our shadows. We must face the limited beliefs, the conditioning, the program that society has put on us, that our educators have put on us, that politics have put on us, and even our parents just not knowing because they were parenting us the best they could. But within them were their fears and their limited beliefs that were poured into us, not knowing. And I feel that we are here to release those things and step into the truth of who we are. And we will stumble and we will fall. And there's times where we will feel out of control. But knowing that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you keep stumbling and you keep stumbling, there's a lesson that's not being learned. There's a lesson that needs to be learned. And that's why you keep stumbling until you wake up and you look in the mirror and you self reflect and ask, what am I here to learn? What is it that you're trying to teach me? Surrender. Surrender. That was my biggest lesson. I came from a beautiful mother, got pregnant at the age of 13. My dad is 18, construction worker, illiterate. My mom didn't make it to 8th grade, got pregnant with my older sister. They were married for 17 years, young, trying to figure out who they are, trying to figure out each other, trying to figure out how to raise a home. And that marriage ended with betrayal after 17 years. And I got to witness a young single mother struggle, hurt, broken. And as a young girl, I made a decision that I wasn't getting married, not having children, and I was going to do whatever it takes to be successful. And back then, my definition of success was having money because we lived off Salvation Army at times. There's times where my mom didn't have any. You know, she wasn't working. She had 2 to 3 jobs, sometimes 0 jobs. And my dad wasn't in our lives after 17 years of marriage. So all the limited beliefs of not being worthy, not being loved, because the man who was supposed to love me left me, abandoned me. That's the story that was created. I was unlovable, story that I created, all these things, right? And so here I am, just focusing on my career, focusing on getting good grades, focusing on it was focusing on all the things, doing all the things, but not being who God created me to be because I was living in fear. And I thought I was broken. I learned different back then. I didn't know what a kinesthetic learner was, but I was that. So I thought that I was broken. I thought my brain didn't work. I remember being a little girl and just feeling dumb, unworthy, unlovable. Life was hard. Though my mom did everything that she could, always had food on the table, always had clothes on our back. But all the limited beliefs that I stored within me were holding me back from truly living in my light. Made me a very strong female, though. Very strong. Scared of love. I became the betrayer. In every relationship, I cheated. I lied. I was so scared to fall in love. So I became the perpetrator. Successful with money, traveling, bought my house when I was 23, very prideful, very egotistic, did all the things. And then I met my husband, who walked into a business event that I was holding, and I saw him. And the first thing that I thought was, wow, what a cute boy toy. That's my thoughts. Boy, was he the biggest lesson for me because he was mirroring everything, every lesson, everything, mirroring me just in my face, showing me what is possible. Love, love. And our first 5 years were very challenging because you had an egotistic woman, very prideful. I had my best friend, my sister, pass away within our first 2 months of being together. His grandmother passed away, very unexpected deaths from the beginning. My sister left behind 3 children, teens at the time, 2 nephews and my niece. And this beautiful man that I was so scared to love stepped up and we took in the children. At the age of 24, he was 24 and I was 30. Then I got pregnant with my daughter. We were married and then got pregnant, then had my son. We were young with 3 teenagers and 2 little ones. And the struggle was real. And this beautiful man fought. And I had to take a step back from my business at that time. And this is when God started to work on me. I had a spiritual experience in 2013 that completely shifted my being. I didn't grow up in a religious home. I heard of God. I didn't know God. As a Catholic, we went to church when someone passed or when someone got married. That was about the gist of me growing up with God. And then 2013, when things started getting really tough with my niece and my nephews, I had a spiritual experience and it was my sister. I felt her with every part of my being. I had chills from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. And all I heard is, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And it brought me to my knees. And I felt the most beautiful love. Oh my goodness. A love that is beyond pure. There's no words that can actually describe the love that I felt within my being, within every part of my cell vibrating, and then inner peace and a joy. And that day, something changed within me. First of all, I started seeking. I wanted to know what was this? What was this? And the only thing that I can think of is God. God. And where do you go to find God? Church. And I was led to a very prophetic church, confirmation, and all these things started to shift. I am an intuitive, I am empathic, and I would say I'm also a closet channeler, and I'm learning about that. But all these gifts started to be revealed, and I gained a very close relationship with God, direct communication. And when I started to learn to listen and to read the signs, when I tapped into the Holy Spirit, God within, when I started to tap into the Holy Spirit, let's put it this way, I'm a great student. Downloads started to come in. Now I know they're downloads. God would request, and I would do. I would have the most profound conversations with individuals, strangers, sharing with them what God was asking me to share with them. I knew that something shifted within my being. Started going to church, all the things. Meanwhile, my husband's an atheist, right? And I see it. I see it. That's the title that society puts on people that don't believe in God the way some people believe in God, right? A lot of people like put God in a box, and God is just beyond any box. But I am going through this journey and I'm listening and I'm learning. I'm seeking, I'm finding, I'm suffering, I'm growing. That's what it is. I see my relationship is starting to, I'm starting to struggle because he thinks I'm being brainwashed and I think he's going to hell. And I am on the struggle bus to try to save my husband. And I remember having a conversation with God and sacrificing my life for his. Take me. If you have to use me to save him. And that conversation, wholeheartedly, I became very religious at one point, very religious, studying the Bible, doing the things, going to church, recruiting for the church. And then here goes some more pain and suffering because there's more growth that has to occur in order for me to do what I'm here to do. I'm having a conversation with God in my backyard, and God asked me to read the Old Testament. And I'm still learning, I'm still growing. And I start reading the Old Testament and I get very confused. I don't understand who this God is that is killing innocent women and children. I'm confused. I am, my life is falling apart. I don't understand what's going on. What is going on? I feel like I'm going to get hit with the bolts of lightning right there and then in my back of my yard because I am questioning now. I don't understand. So of course I try to get back into alignment, get back into alignment. I start going to church, I'm reading a book, I'm fighting, I'm fighting, I'm fighting. It's still not sitting well. I'm feeling like a hypocrite in church because I'm not believing what they are sharing. I have a niece, beautiful, lovely, loving, compassionate niece who is gay. All the things that I'm learning, all the things that I'm hearing just does not align with the God that I have a personal relationship. The I am, the kingdom of God is within you. So I completely disconnect. I stop going to church. I go within. I start meditating. I start having deeper conversations with God, asking, asking. I am. Started receiving answers, started to realign, started to go within, started to know, started to hear different, started to see different, started to understand. Things started to make sense and become part of this. I get into this part of the Ultimate Coach group, which is all about being coaches from all around the world. And I am invited to go to India. I start more down a spiritual path versus a religious path, breaking free from the religious conditioning and the programming. I lose a lot of friends. I lose a lot of people. Suffering, pain, growth. You are where you're supposed to be. You are where you're supposed to be. Breathe, breathe. I am there. I start doing yoga. I start doing breath work, sound healing, all these beautiful things that are tools to help us to go within. These are all tools to help us to go within, to find I am, you are, we are one. All those things, I know when I start doing them, I can feel the religious conditioning pulling me back. That is of the enemy. That is of the enemy. So there's this constant struggle. I'm finally enough, enough, enough. Trust, trust in you. Trust that you have everything within you, sitting within you, everything that you've been looking for on the outside, the joy, the peace, the unconditional love. It's all there within you. It is like I wear my glasses, right? There's times where I put my glasses on top of my head and I am looking, where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? And then I realize that they've been with me the entire, the entire time there with you in that beautiful space. There is no separation. There is no separation between you and God. I am. And I have to remind myself that every time I wake up and every time I go to bed, because we live on this earth and there's experiences that you decided to experience. This was your calling. Your calling, at least this is my belief. Okay. This is what I feel to be true. This is what I feel that we were called onto this earth through our own decisions to experience whatever it is that we wanted to experience before we go back home. And to know that is to know that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And there are lessons. And you will continue to have to remind yourself to breathe. It's okay. Breathe, breathe. Turn off the noise. Turn off the distractions. Turn off the phones. Turn off social media. Turn off the TV. Stop the things that you are using as a number so that you don't feel. We are here to feel. Feeling, the emotion are alarms, things that need healing. So allow yourself to feel. It's okay. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be all those things. When I realized that my limited beliefs were coming from the conditioning and the programming, and that those limited beliefs were creating the thoughts, and that the thoughts were attached to my emotions, and my emotions were attached to my actions or lack of actions, and my actions created my results in my life. And my results showed up in how I was being. When I realized that I can heal from the limited beliefs and create new belief, I am courageous. I am as God is. We are one. Therefore, I can create and be and do whatever I choose. And I choose to be happy. I choose to be peace. I choose love above all things. And when my thoughts change, my emotions changed. And when my emotions changed, my actions changed. I showed up different. That's freedom. That is freedom. Freedom to be, freedom to love, freedom to feel. I was watching this show the other day regarding those that tried to commit suicide. And the one thing that they all had in common was the negative thoughts that were running their mind. Take control of your mind and know that you are not your thoughts. You are God. You are love. You are light. And when those thoughts come in, because they will, have a plan in place. Have a plan in place. Surround yourself with those that pour into you, that love you, that support you, that really see you. Go out. Allow the sun to beam through you because you are the sun. The sun is you. You are that ray of sunshine, my friends. Do the thing that makes you happy. And if you don't know what that is, it's time you find it. It's time that you walk away from the noise and you sit with yourself and you allow yourself to dream. You allow yourself to play. Let the children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as those. Luke 18:16. Though I'm not religious, there are some great verses and beautiful things inside the Bible. I still read the Bible. I just read it differently. See, the kingdom, that verse is not talking about like just little children. We are that. We are. And when you allow yourself to play, when you stop taking yourself so serious and you allow yourself just to play, to go play in the rain, to sing, to dance, to skip, to create, you will find that child within you that has been wanting to play. All of us are adults, have that little child within us that may be hurt because of past trauma or pain. And the beautiful nurturer that we are can nurture that child, you, back into health by allowing yourself to see the innocence, not only in you, but in everyone. See, hurt people hurt people. Babies are free. Babies are pure spirits. Hate is taught. Babies are the purest. And we were all that. We were all free from the beginning to play, to love, that inner joy, just seeing everything with the beginner's mind. You can do that now. You can be that now. You can find that now. If you just allow yourself, give yourself permission to be that. And by you giving yourself permission to be that, you will give those around you permission to also be that. My children, I said 14, she's a 15-year-old daughter. She still holds my hand. We go wherever we go. She holds my hand. She sits on my lap. We play, we sing, we dance together. My son, who is 13, gives me kisses still. He doesn't care who's around. They are that with my husband as well, because we lead in love. We lead in play. And there's times where we are not that because the noise gets the best of us. And we've learned to apologize and take responsibility and then forgive us and then ask for forgiveness. We complicate things because we allow our thoughts, our intellect to run us. Just breathe. Just breathe. And know whatever it is that you're going through will pass. And whatever it is that you're going through is for you. And I know that's very hard to take for some. I know. As a young girl, I was molested, and she didn't deserve any of what happened to her. But the work I do today as a coach, as a healer, I can help those that have gone through that. I can help those who felt abandoned, who didn't have a parent in their life or went through the financial struggle, like all the things that I went through. I now help people to release and let go. And I wouldn't be who I am today without those struggles. I wouldn't be able to help the people that I help today if I didn't go through those. If I didn't go through that suffering, if I didn't go through that pain. If you don't have a broken heart, if you've never had a broken heart, how are you ever going to help your little girl go through it? I call Earth the university. The Earth University. Here to teach us. And the time is very limited. And then we all go home. So take this experience, learn from it, grow from it, then teach, serve. So many of us are so scared to speak, to be vulnerable, because we see it as a weakness. It is my superpower. It is your superpower. Because so many people can relate. And by you sharing your story and your vulnerability, you can save a life. You can help someone see a brighter day. Because then they'll see that they're not alone. We are all going through this together. We are not separate from one another. When I feel love, you feel love. When I feel joy, you will feel joy. There is this beautiful energy that we activate within each other. So if you're ever sad or you're feeling down, get around someone who is happy, who is joyful, and pay attention. Just pay attention. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to slow down. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. And just look around. It's everywhere. The beauty and life. It's everywhere. And so is the opposite. Destruction, hate, chaos. That's everywhere too. Question is, What do you want? Where do you want to be? What side do you want to live in? Choose a side and be that, and know that it's okay to be sad, to be angry, just all the things, because that's how we were created. Thank you.
Thank you for the dialogue. It was very important for people to understand. And just one thing to add that people may not understand with the suicidal mind and the mind in general is that the greatest addiction is the addiction to our thought. And if we can't escape our thoughts, we get trapped in that darkness. So I always remind people to have tools in place before the crisis hits so you can step out of that darkness.
Yes, because it is difficult. These past 2 weeks have been very challenging for me. And I know that I'm stepping into the next level of my awakening because of the suffering, the pain. And there's times where you are so caught up in the thought of unworthiness. Right now, what I'm going through is the growth of worthiness when it comes to money. Money has never been a motivator for me, just never been. But I know that there's something there. I can feel it within my being that there's a block, like there's something there. And I'm ready to release that. I want to release that because I know that the more that I can create, the more money that I can create, the more I can give back to foster group homes. Like I volunteer to girls group homes. There's so much that we can do with this tool, with this, right? Because that's what it is. It's a tool. So I've been in this, I'm going to say like darkness within, and I'm so aware, like witnessing. I don't even know how to, I don't even know how to describe it. Because again, I always follow spirit. I always go within to find answers, and there's books upon books that I've been reading, but I notice that I get very confused, more information on the outside that I take versus going in and really asking and allowing. But there's been this block and I've been feeling it and I've been witnessing myself, like witnessing the thoughts and not running from the thoughts. That's the thing. When you not running and not putting any meaning behind the thought, but allowing yourself to feel it, allow yourself to feel it and process it without giving it. And those are the things that are very challenging to sit with those emotions, the feelings that come up. And what I found is the more you suppress those thoughts, the darker they get. So allowing them to surface and be. I've allowed myself to cry, just to feel, to journal, to meditate, to work out, to do the things that help me to stay aligned. I fasted for 3 days, water only, right? Just that's I know me and that's what works for me. The more aware, the more conscious you become, the closer you get to I am, things will be revealed. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Allow, release, shed, grow. And there will be a point where you're just like, "Ooh, everything's amazing. Like there's all this, right? Beauty happening. There's all these good things happening. And you're flying, right? You're just like, yes, yes, yes. And then another challenge comes, an obstacle comes, and more growth. It's also part of being human and having all these emotions. It's just like what you said, Bubba. Have the tools in place. Have the tools in place. Know you for one. Know what works for you because just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So know what works for you. But the only way you're going to know what works for you is if you are being with you. If you are taking time to be with you. Is it meditating for you? Quieting the mind? Is it going for a hike? Is it journaling? Having a great workout? Is it breath work? find what works for you. Explore, try something new. Allow yourself to allow yourself the time and ask, how does this make me feel? That's what really helped me shift from being stuck in that religious conditioning to stepping into the truth of I am, was allowing myself to feel, how does this feel? How does it feel? And if it doesn't feel good, then it's not for you. And sometimes it is, because working out doesn't always feel good. So it's also having that discernment, you
Mm.
know? Eating the salad, the chicken salad isn't always fun when there's a hamburger and french fries. But we all know deep within which one's better for us. And it's okay to have the hamburger and fries sometimes, just not every day. Find out what works for you. Find your happiness. I'm not going to say happiness because for me, I think happiness depends on what happens to you throughout the day. Find your joy. See, joy, no one can take that away. That joy lives within you. It's part of your being. It's who you are underneath all the junk. Joy. It's like there could be a tornado or a tsunami, right? Just everything is happening all around you. And here you are in the center, grounded, knowing who you are. That's a beautiful space to be. When when you look outside and everything is just chaotic, crazy, busy, just poof, spinning. And here you are in the center, grounded, grounded. And love is the answer. Really, really, it's love. It is love. And I've used I am that. And I've seen me create, recreate my marriage, recreate my family dynamic, my relationship with my children, my relationship with my mother, my relationship with my father, love, forgiveness. There's so much more that we could get into with just that because that is everything. It really is. Love mends. Love is the only thing that is real. Love is the only thing that is real. I know this, and my husband says this. I loved him to love. Like I created the relationship, this fairy tale that I'm living in. I created it. And he is that. Now he is that. He is a balanced man, feminine, masculine. And it all had to do with me hearing God tell me I must submit, I must surrender, to soften, soften, soften. And everything changed. Love is forgiveness, to live with no regret. If I were to die today, there would be no regret because I have mended every relationship and made it better. And it doesn't matter where I am, whether I'm at a grocery store or I walk outside my house, I am love with my neighbor, with the stranger, with my family, with me. And me is the one at times that I struggle with. And that's okay because it's a journey. But when you see your fellow brother or sister and you know that there is no separation, then you can forgive, especially when you understand that we are all children walking in adult form. And all of us at one point in our life were hurt and didn't feel love. And when you nurture that child, miracles, all these little miracles. How did this person change? Seemed like it was overnight. No, it wasn't overnight. So just show up and be love.
And that is exactly it. By surrendering, embracing love, right? the miracles. So thanks for joining us on the conversation. People have questions for you. How could they reach you?
SonjaRamirez.com. So it's SONJA Ramirez, RAMIREZ. And all my social media platforms are there. For this show, I would like to gift a 45-minute session for anyone that would like to be with me. So I am just excited for what's coming forth. This world as a collective, right? Just us together being the light. The world is not as dark as you think it is when you can see all the light. Focus on the light, focus on love and who you're being. Who are you being? Who are you being? You get to choose. Every day you wake up, you get to choose. Who am I serving? Who am I being? Am I being love? Who are you being? You get to choose.
Choose wisely. Just take a pause and make your choice. So thank you for joining us on the conversation, Sonja. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, my friend.